Anthony Tony Hromek is recognized posthumously for the Montrose Hall of Fame Community Service Award for his extensive years of dedication to the Montrose community. He was born in Flint, Michigan, to Tony and Pramila Hromek, and had one sister, Carolyn Kazmarek, who also lives and raised her family in Montrose. Tony graduated from Hoover High School, where he participated in athletics and band. Tony married the love of his life, Juanita, whom everyone knows as Pug, and they spent 50 wonderful years together. He retired from Buick Motor Division, beginning his career working in the foundry before moving to and retiring from Buick Fire Department. He also served as a union representative of safety for UAW Local 599. For the beginning of their marriage, they remained in Flint Township, where Tony served as a volunteer firefighter. In 1975, he moved their family of 5, which now included 3 daughters, to reside in Montrose for the remainder of his life. It didn't take long for Tony and Pug to immerse themselves in the community, as he became a volunteer firefighter for the Township of Montrose, where he dedicated over 30 years. And some of the first friends they met were coaches at high school, so he began right away keeping stats for the boys' sports teams. Then, as his daughters aged to become active in athletics, Tony became active in the girls' sports programs by keeping team stats and eventually assisting in coaching. He continued coaching softball with fellow Hall of Fame inductees Helen Smith and Rod Studeaker, even after his youngest daughter graduated. He and Pug were also active in the Montrose Athletic Boosters. Every Friday night for 40 years, Tony could be found on the sidelines keeping stats for the varsity football team. The only nights he wasn't found there is when he was trying to talk the doctors into releasing him from the hospital when he was suffering from heart issues, even if it could only be for the duration of the game. In fact, Tony's first known heart attack occurred while he was on the sidelines, and he waited until halftime before visiting his fellow firefighters. They were with the rescue squad, just stating he needed some oxygen to finish second half. Of course, their professional opinion was to send him on his way in an ambulance. 2.5 decades later, as his grandchildren all attended Montrose community schools and participating in athletics, Tony could still be found lending a hand at any Rams sporting event he attended. Tony was a prominent figure in Montrose. His contributions recognized when named Firefighter of the Year and honored as Citizen of the Month by the City of Montrose. He was a proud member of Montrose Masonic Lodge No. 428 F and AM and a member of the Blueberry Festival Committee. Tony and Pug were honored as Grand Marshals of the Montrose Blueberry Festival and Montrose Homecoming festivities. Tony was also a very accomplished bowler, having bowled a perfect 300 game. At one time, he even coached youth bowling. He liked to teach, whether it be new firefighters, children in sports at school, or teaching the community about what firefighters do. When Rich Cummings joined the Montrose Township Fire Department in 1989, Hromek took him and many others under his wing. Cummings is now the department's assistant fire chief. He even loved teaching children and others in the community about the job. He would explain to people how to recognize the different trucks and would say, if you see this truck go by your house, they're going to this type of call, and this is what they're going to do, Cummings said. Although there was no doubt that Tony's wife and 3 daughters, Coetta Adams, Carla Vandepfeiffer, and Tony and Mike Atwell, were his greatest treasures, but there is unquestionably no dispute that once his 6 grandchildren came along, they were the apple of his eye. Visibly his purpose, and the absolute joy of his life thereafter. His grandchildren include Kylie Adams Dooley, Trevor Atwell, Cassidy Adams, Hannah Atwell, Noah and Eric Vandepfeiffer. All 6 of them were continually active in Montrose and athletic programs from youth through college. Tony, along with Pug, was at every event these 6 participated in, and including some they didn't. If they missed a function, it was because they were at one of the others. He didn't just come to watch. He was volunteering for their teams as well, whether it was Team Grandpa making signature food and snacks, or giving anyone who would listen grandfatherly advice and motivation, videotaping, keeping stats, building or fixing equipment, often even pseudo-athletic director at many home events. As the kids traveled all over the country to participate in events, he traveled with them and their parents, from elementary age to those who played at the collegiate level, around the entire Midwest, as far south as Florida and west to California, even into Canada. Unfortunately, Tony passed before the youngest two finished high school and at college. But if still alive, I am sure he could still be found assisting his youngest daughter and grandson, who are head coaches. Tony's friendly smile and humble nature created a welcoming atmosphere for everyone around him. On an emotional level, he had a huge heart, but on a physical level, his heart was not strong enough. Cummings also said, his death was a shock to all of us, because he was one of those people that even if things were bad, he could always see the good and be optimistic. Tony's love and service to the community of Montrose ended when he passed away in 2015 at the age of 72. We congratulate and welcome Anthony Tony Hromek on induction into the Montrose Sports and Community Hall of Fame.